What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Show X. Today, I have with me Dr. Andrea Huddleston, and we're going to talk about hormones.
Oh, my favourite topic ever.
A good starting point for such a topic would be to ask why a lot of people seem to be struggling with hormonal issues.
That is such an awesome question. And it kind of seems like it is everybody. Pretty much all the women that I see, and if they talk to their girlfriends, and for the men as well, they all have hormonal issues going on. And the challenge is as well, now what we think is normal is not normal. Women going through adolescence and puberty, they get their period, they're getting all sorts of horrendous period pain, hormonal acne, and terrible things going on, and they think it's normal. They're told it's normal. We're taught that we are meant to suffer, that each month life is supposed to be pretty terrible, and it could not be further from the truth. For women who are cycling or who do have their period, I can tell you that a normal cycle is no symptoms whatsoever.
Which is quite a challenging concept today.
Does that come as a surprise to you? Like, a normal period is no symptoms, and that's true for menopause as well. So all menopause means is just a cessation of the period and not having it for 12 months. It doesn't mean hot flashes. It doesn't mean anxiety and depression and low libido and turning into a complete crazy woman. All it means is no period for 12 months.
How can we start to actually approach this from a, I suppose, empowered position in terms of what can we do every day? And what can women do every day? Because that's sort of your specialty. What can women do every day to actually start to get on top of this seemingly complex topic?
It's identify what might be causing some of their hormonal imbalances in the first place. And always, and I know this sounds like a cliche, the biggest thing is stress. Not just for women, but for men as well. And stress is part of our survival. It's part of, our primal instincts. It saves us from, the saber-tooth tiger. But in our current lifestyle, it's not conducive for a healthy body to be stuck in that fight or flight mode all the time, or that kind of sympathetic state. So when we're really stressed for a long time, it messes with our cortisol hormones, and cortisol is a super bossy hormone for too long, or it's imbalanced for too long. What it does is it actually robs other hormones to make more of it. So actually identifying what stresses are in your life, and are there different ways that you can start to actually mitigate that? And having daily rituals. So one of the most powerful things that they can actually do is having a meditation or a mindfulness practice that they start the day with. Set yourself up for the day in the right way that's going to be conducive for hopefully keeping those stress levels as low as possible.
Can that look something as simple as going for a walk?
Yeah, definitely.
So how good's that? That's so easy.
Yeah. And that movement as well is going to be either the biggest hormonal balance promoter or detractor from that. So if we think about the fact that exercise can sometimes be a stressor as well. So if, for example, you do have a whole bunch of wacky hormonal stuff going on, maybe running a marathon or I'm sorry to all the CrossFitters, maybe going to CrossFit every day, particularly for women, may not be the most appropriate thing if you've got hormonal challenges. But doing appropriate exercise for you that might just be 20-minute walk as soon as you get up in the morning. So start your body moving, get those endorphins going as well. That's a great start, absolutely. And that can also help with inflammation and other things that create that stress pathway as well. Some of the other things that lead to hormonal imbalances is usually poor nutrition that we see really commonly. So in particular, too much sugar.
Oh, sugar's a bit of an issue. Let's break it down.
This is a really hard thing to tell women, particularly when they're really exhausted. They're going to be looking for sugar just to give themselves that energy boost as well. And also the fact that sugar is in absolutely everything nowadays, which is a little bit scary. Sugar messes with our insulin levels, which makes us insulin resistant, which means that we can't actually use the energy from the sugar that we're eating, which makes us, stressed and tired and goes through that vicious cycle as well. When we have, say, we eat a chocolate bar, we get that spike of that blood sugar levels, but what goes up must come down. So when it drops off again, when we go into that reactive hypoglycemic state, then there's something that has to kick in to then rebalance our blood sugar levels, because that's a very stressful state for the body again. And the hormone that has to kick in to re-regulate your blood sugar levels is cortisol.
Right, so we're having stress from emotional stress, we're having stress from nutritional stress, having too much sugar.
Yeah.
Both of those are causing a rise in cortisol.
Yeah, exactly. Now, this is particularly important for particularly women who have polycystic ovarian syndrome or PCOS, because part of the hallmark of this syndrome is that insulin resistance. So it creates a more androgen hormone picture, which is what we usually associate with male type hormones. So it puts them into more the male type hormones picture that becomes dominant. It actually affects the growth of the ovary as well. And too much sugar also messes with our leptin receptors. And leptin is that satiety hormone that tells your brain that you've had enough to eat. So if you are stressed, anxious, eating too much sugar, it's going to be messing with all of those receptors in our brain as well, which leads to us being fat and tired.
Yes, which is not a good combination. Okay, so what I suppose is a good optimal sort of hormonal supportive diet? We had a green smoothie before.
Oh, we
which
did.
is also on the channel. Guys, check out Andrea's recipe there.
My green goddess smoothie.
The
Yeah.
green goddess smoothie. So what are the principles behind that and actually contributing to a positive outcome when it comes to our hormones?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it's whole food nutrition,
Yeah.
right? So just eating what we would normally be able to find in nature. I think it was Louise Hay who says, if it grows, eat it. If it doesn't grow, don't eat it. And that is one of the most blissfully simple things that we can think about. So if it comes in a packet, if it's got ingredients on it that you can't pronounce or identify, then you probably shouldn't be eating it in the first place. So that whole foods nutrition is so important. Making sure that you've got really good quality, clean protein and good quality fats, because that's what our hormones are made from, proteins and fats, and amazing fiber from good quality carbohydrates as well. So in the smoothie that we've just eaten, amazing vitamins and minerals and nutrients.
Me.
And great fiber as well, which gives us that super sexy, happy gut.
Yep.
Which helps to balance our blood sugar levels as well. So it's going to keep us more satiated for longer. And it's just overall such a great thing. You want to make sure that you're eating regularly enough so that you're not getting that cortisol input from maybe fasting for too long or starving. So making sure that you're eating to keep your blood sugar levels balanced, not too much, whole food nutrition, staying away from the processed stuff, and in particular sugar.
One thing you mentioned there was that hormones are reliant on fats and proteins.
Correct.
I get a lot of emails from vegans who are vegans for moral reasons.
Yes.
And they're trying to work on their hormones and their hormonal balance. What are some good plant-based options for them to get into that sort of cycle?
This is a pretty controversial topic because I absolutely respect and understand the moral side of, not having animal-based protein. And there certainly are great plant-based sources of protein and good fats, absolutely. There is a bit of controversy around whether or not you can actually get certain things that are bioavailable in plant sources as opposed to animal sources. That's probably maybe a bit too complex for this, but in terms of protein sources, for vegans, the highest protein sources are things like black beans, quinoa, spirulina.
Is hemp good?
Yeah, hemp's great.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You don't want to go too much though, because there are some studies that show that hemp raises estrogen levels. So depending on what your hormonal profile is, you want to just be careful of that as well. Same with maca as well. That in some studies has been shown to increase testosterone levels. So just go carefully and just don't go too much. So it wouldn't be appropriate to necessarily have hemp protein 4 times a day. But a good mix of that. So pepitas or pumpkin seeds, also great sources of protein as well. So those are your highest in terms of protein grams per cup for vegan sources as well.
You are a wealth of knowledge, and I can't wait to see how you take over the women's health space. Where can people find out more about you? Where can they come to you?
They can find me at the Wellness Studio in Fremantle. That's my practice. Otherwise, they can hear me every week on their phones in their drive home on Wellness Women Radio. So that is our top-rated, award-winning podcast.
Yeah.
So that's Wellness Women Radio. You can find us on Facebook, The Wellness Women, or on Instagram at The Wellness Women Official.
Guys, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Show X. As always, please like, subscribe, like and share. I think that's the order. Whatever. And make sure you comment below in regards to what else you want to see on the show. Thanks very much for tuning in, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Kale. Thanks, guys. Bye.